Hi everybody, my name is Nor'easter Nick Pittman. I'm the president and CEO of Norcast Media Group, but most of you probably know me as your friendly neighborhood weatherman for the past 15 years in South Jersey. I'm absolutely honored and humbled to be here today. Thank you so much for involving me in all of this. I want to give a sincere thank you to Congressman Jeff Van Drew and his Chief of Staff Allison, who have been absolutely amazing in this entire process. Late in August, we found out about this issue. Now, I am very thankful. I am grateful to be in a position where the bill doesn't impact us much. But I understand that there are thousands of people who are impacted. I grew up poor. I grew up on welfare. I know what it's like, even after I got into my professional life, living paycheck to paycheck and having to stress out over paying for a bill or to put food on my table. So I understand what a lot of people are going through. So I believe it is incumbent upon anybody that has a platform to affect change to make the strides to do just that. Very, very important that we all work together as a bipartisan coalition to bring about a change. I wish I could be there in person. I apologize that I'm not, but a pressing family matter came up that I had to really pay attention to, but I still wanted to contribute in any possible way. Full transparency, my company does not benefit. I do not benefit personally. We are not being paid by anybody. Every fact in here, in this report, every figure that I go over has been verified by my team of meteorologists, none of which live in the Atlantic City Electric service area. These are also facts directly from NOAA and the New Jersey Climatologist Office. There are no biases in this entire report. There are no opinions, just fact. And with that said, let's dive into it. So the purpose of this report is to highlight the significant inaccuracies in the messaging from Atlantic City Electric and the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities. In this report, I will present factual evidence demonstrating that the summer of 2024 was remarkably similar to the summer of 2022 in terms of heat levels. In fact, some areas across southern New Jersey experienced slightly cooler temperatures in 24 compared to 22. So you're probably asking, well, why not use 2023 for comparison, right? And the answer is simple. The summer of 2023 was somewhat cooler due to the influence of La Nina and the persistent troughing in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. The summer of 2022, though, provides a much more accurate comparison to the conditions observed in 2024. So I want to begin by examining 2023 and why I don't think it's a reliable year for comparison. That summer was an outlier, one of the coolest in a decade of otherwise warmer summers. Compared to average, the summer of 2023 was just under a half a degree cooler than the 30-year statewide norm. The only year in the past decade that was cooler was 2017, which was slightly more than a half a degree below normal. Focusing on that data for interior South Jersey specifically, we see a similar pattern emerge. A persistent trough, or a dip in the jet stream, typical of a La Nina summer, shaped the weather pattern this season. So it kept temperatures cooler throughout the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, and yes, here in South Jersey as well. Over the past decade, our area has seen 8 out of the past 10 summers with above normal temperatures, with 5 of those 8 being significantly higher than average. This reflects a clear trend we've observed over the past 20 years, not just here in New Jersey, but across the board. Yes, summers are getting hotter. However, a changing climate doesn't mean temperatures will increase steadily every year. Instead, we see a warming trend unfold gradually over several years. So, for example, 20, 21, and 22 all recorded above normal temperatures, while 23 dipped slightly below normal. By 2024, temperatures rose again to match 22 levels, according to data from the New Jersey State Climatologist Office. Before we dive into the comparison of 22 and 24, I want to highlight some glaring inconsistencies that have caught the attention of myself and thousands of others, right? I received hundreds of electricity bills from residents, and I'm very thankful for that. There was a clear trend. In many cases, their bills had doubled or even tripled compared to what they were paying in 22. Take this bill as an example. Nothing in the home has changed. No new electronics were added, and everything remained the same as in 22. Yet the bill increased in 2023, which makes absolutely no sense given it was a cooler summer, as we just discussed. The bills continue to rise in 24, significantly higher, while observed temperatures were unchanged from 2022. Based on the temperature data, one would expect that a cooler summer would result in less energy and therefore lower electricity bills. However, that was not the case. Let's take a closer look at the data to better understand what's happening. In the summer of 22, the total electricity bill was just over $700. During that time, solar production exceeded 5 megawatts an hour. There were nearly 50 90-degree days. In the following summer, despite producing just a hair under 5 megawatts an hour in solar, a small reduction due to increased cloud cover, which contributed overall to the cooler temperatures, the bill surged to $1,400. Now, this is an average of all 3 months put together. So even though there were half as many 90-degree days compared to 2022, the bill doubled. Then came 2024. Solar production was slightly over 5 megawatts an hour, almost identical to 2022. And there were a dozen fewer 90-degree days, yet the bill rose again, this time more than $1,700 for the season. Since we've identified 2023 as an unusually cool summer, we'll be using the summer of 22 as the primary comparison point for the rest of this report, since it is the most recent year with similar average temperatures to 2024. Let's dive into the records and see how 2024 stacks up against previous summers. While some have claimed that this summer was the hottest since the 1930s, that's not entirely accurate. The summer of 24 did rank amongst the top 10 hottest in South Jersey, but it placed at number 5, only slightly warmer by 2022 by 1/10 of a degree. A key indicator of how hot a summer is and its potential impact on power consumption is the number of days that hit 90 or higher. Here's the data gathered from various official reporting stations throughout the region, providing well-rounded representation of South Jersey's different geographical areas. As you can see, 22 experienced a noticeably higher number of 90-degree days in several areas across the region. In contrast, the Atlantic City Marina reported 0 90-degree days in 24. Going hand in hand with 90-degree days are heat waves. A heat wave in New Jersey is considered a 3-day or more stretch of 90s. Closely tied to a 90-degree day are heat waves. Except for Estelle Manor, all of South Jersey experienced the same number of heat waves in 24 as in 22. Estelle Manor, however, saw an additional 2 heat waves in 22. What stands out the most is the duration of each heat wave. In 22, heat waves lasted longer than in 24, with the longest stretch in Estelle Manor reaching 9 days. In contrast, the longest heat wave across all of South Jersey in 2024 was only 7 days. Notably, Atlantic City Marina experienced 2 consecutive 90-degree days in 2022, but none in 24. It's worth noting that the summer of 2024 saw the coolest water temperatures in 15 years. The amount of sea fog in consecutive days with onshore flow cut down on the duration of the heat waves, especially along the coastal plain in southern New Jersey. Let's now explore the top 5 hottest Junes, Julys, and August in southern New Jersey. In 2024, it was indeed hot, ranking as the second hottest June on record across climate zones in New Jersey, all of them. However, it was still 1.8 degrees cooler than the all-time record set in 2010. The average temperature for the month was 74.7, which is a half a degree above the 30-year normal for June. In July, we have a different story going on based off the observations. 2024 is now nowhere to be seen. 22 comes into focus, positioned as the 4th hottest July on record, averaging 79.1 degrees. For comparison, July 24 averaged 77 degrees. August 2024 is noticeably absent from the list as the hottest on record, while 22 maintains its momentum from July. In fact, August 2022 tied for the hottest August ever recorded across New Jersey and interior South Jersey, with an average temperature of 78 degrees compared to just 75.7 in August 24. The back-to-back record-breaking heat of July and August 2022 overshadows the second record hot June of 2024. With heat covered, let's now dive into a more detailed comparison of average temperatures. Of our official reporting sites, 4 recorded higher average high temperatures in 22 than 24, while Atlantic City International and EHT saw temperatures tied between those 2 years. When it comes to low temperatures, we found that average overnight temperatures were roughly a quarter of a degree warmer at 3 of our official reporting sites. Atlantic City International ran about a half a degree above 2024's averages, and Cape May Airport also recorded a slightly higher overnight average compared to 2024. Looking at the broader data set, we can compare actual observed temperatures against the norm. Both 2022 and 24 were well above average, but there was no notable difference suggesting a significant impact on energy consumption. In areas where 24 was hotter, we're talking about the difference of a fraction of a degree, 1/10 of 1 degree. Here's arguably the most critical part of this entire research report. The data energy companies focused on most when determining energy demands. Cooling degree days, or CDD. It's a measurement used to estimate the demand for air conditioning. It represents how much of the daily average temperature exceeds the baseline, typically about 65 degrees Fahrenheit. The more CDDs recorded, the higher the need for cooling, which directly correlates with increased energy consumption as air conditioners work harder to maintain comfortable indoor temperatures. In 2022, New Jersey recorded 897 cooling degree days compared to 899 in 2024, with the state average being 725. In interior South Jersey, 1,033 CDDs were observed in 22 versus 1,029 in 24, while the average is 853, so significantly above the normal, both years. Along the shoreline, 2022 saw 979 CDDs compared to 959 in 2024, with an average of 820. The slight increase of just 2 CDDs for the state in 2024 does not account for any significant rise in energy consumption. When we look at the county level, we find a similar story. In areas where there is slight increase from 2022 to 2024, the difference is negligible. Same with our 5 official recording sites. So in conclusion, we've looked at all the data, we've spent hours upon hours poring over it all, and we find no discernible difference in temperatures and energy consumption and demand over the past 5 years. 2023 was an anomalous cool year, but when you compare where we were this past summer to summers before 2023, you would find that there is no difference. And looking back at my bills personally, the cost has gone up astronomically. I will be more than happy to provide any of this data to anybody who asks. I appreciate you having me involved, and we are going to continue to push towards a resolution on this matter. Thank you so much for your time, everybody.